Because the monthly is bullish, we're going to put bullish. Boom. All right, let me zoom in for you. Boom. Right? Okay, pop out of there real quick. Let's go to the weekly. The weekly is also making higher highs, which means the last high, okay, is higher than the previous high. High, high, high. So we're making higher highs and higher lows. Push up, push down. This would be a higher low. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So this is also bullish daily. Daily, let's open this thing up a little bit more. Back up some. Is still very what? Bullish. Sorry guys, I'm like super zoomed in, my bad. It's still super bullish. Higher highs and higher lows. It's chopping around. It's starting to get a little bit less clear, if you will. But one thing that I've always, kept in mind, and one thing that I've learned through this process is if you don't really understand what you're looking at, go to a higher time frame. It usually makes it much, much clearer. 4 hour. All right, let's pull this thing up. All right, now for the first time, 4 hours looking like it could potentially be turning over. So first you have higher highs, higher low. You're just kind of looking at this overall like area right here. Yes, it's chopping around, but we are moving up. You got a higher low, higher low, higher low. Now is when we start to get, okay, higher low, and then look, now it starts to break. Right here it breaks, boom. Now it's making a lower high. Boom. This is also a lower high from this last one. Breaks through here. This new support that was found here breaks through that and is now retesting here. So it's very possible for it to come down to this support level, which is this 1879 area, pull back down here, potentially drop below that. So we're going to start marking off these levels. Let's just say the 4 hour we put, let's just say, for argument's sake, we put bear. Bearish. Oops, not B4. Bearish. Sorry guys, this is like, I will definitely get this. This is like a very crappy situation here just because of me not having a stand. So excuse me if it's a bit shaky. 1 hour. We could say the same thing. Once again, look at this. Had a lot of nice push. Then look at this. Now it's starting to make its way down. This is about the same. This is a high. This is a lower high. Lower high. Lower high. It pushed all the way down. Pumps back up. But still a lower high than this last high. And then we've really broken down and bust through a lot of support here and here. And now we're pushing back up, testing these areas of where it was one support, going to make new resistance. And then look, it's already rejecting again on its way down. This could easily swing back up and start to make higher highs. Remember, what was the overall trend? Let's look back at a chart. Sorry, it keeps running from me because I'm going down on smaller time frames. The monthly, the weekly, the daily were what? Bullish. So that means we're going, let's just use this, up, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, like that. Even though the 4 hour and the 1 hour are doing this right here, where we're coming down. So I know that's really crappy, but you get my point. So I'm gonna take those off, even if I put, oops, come out of the drawing tool for a second. And if I put bearish here, listen, we are 3/2, so meaning we've got more bullish in the higher time frames, which actually are more influential in the smaller time frames than the smaller time frames, 4 hour and 1 hour. Now, it doesn't mean, though, once again, that you can't take counter trends on these two right here. You can, meaning you can get into bearish moves, which means you're going to sell to the downside. That's fine. However, if I'm looking to sell anything here, I'm probably going to wait to see what happens when market opens, see if it comes back up, test this area right here, fails, and then comes back down to either this level here or let it break through, and then this would be the next level here, which is a major level of support where it's rejected a couple times. Look at all these wicks down up in here. I know, guys, this drawing is crazy. I'm just doing it quickly. The breakdowns, obviously, that we do on Monday will be much, much clearer, and obviously I'll have a stand, here in the next few days, so we can really just like either I'll green screen myself in or something like that where you guys can see the chart, and also I can like go screen within a screen, if you will. You guys kind of know my processes and my steps right here, which I know is probably hard to see. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, that's not, let me just show you. Look, it's a sticky note. let's see if that picks up. There it is. That's the playbook. Literally. Nothing outside of these things. Support and resistance bounces, supply and demand plays, break of highs, break of lows. That's it. Or break and retest, I should say, excuse me. Okay, so we'll get into that stuff as we go, but I just want to show you kind of me marking off my level. So bear with me. I know it's probably very small, and you're like, I don't even know what you're doing, but just stay with me here.
Here we go. So look at this. I'm trying to go through it like I would. So I see a level here of resistance here at the top. It's a little bit of support. I don't know if I've marked that one off. I'll put it here anyway. Now sometimes I scratch it as I go. So I'll click in here. I'll put weekly. So I know what. Oops. So I know what level I'm getting into. Hopefully my head is out of the way. I'm gonna try to stay over here to the left as best as possible. Let's see here. And then I can just Command C on the max. So I just drag it. Find my next zone. So support resistance here as well. We've got resistance, support, resistance, 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 support. So that's a solid level here as well. Let's keep coming down. Boom. I like this level as well. Support, support, resistance, resistance, resist, support, support. So that's a solid level. Again, now, granted, the price is up here, guys. 18,300. That's where the market closed on NQ, which is futures for those of you who are unfamiliar. I'll mark some levels up underneath here, but again, remember, this is weekly, so I'm marking off 14,000. That's insane. That's 4,000 points, roughly, underneath where the price is actually trading. However, they're good to have. The weekly ones you can have them labeled. I don't have to really take those off my chart.
I'm down to the 4 hour. And so I make weekly and 4 hour levels typically. 1 hour are great. I'll do that once in a while, but I draw more zones, like boxes, that will show me what's going on. So check this out. This thing, like I told you, starting to make, I'm just gonna put an arrow here just to kind of give you reference on what the counter trend thing like we're talking about, why this actually is, decently a solid case for that we can look for sells actually in this particular instance on its way down to this weekly level here. Boom. I'm gonna lock this so I can do a couple draws, lower, high, lower, oops. Okay, let's try this again. Here we go. Lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high. I mean, this is a lot of rejection. I can even put a trend line here. And again, I know it's a lot. It's very crowded, but I can put a soft trend line here, and I can even draw my points, which as we go about this and as you learn a little bit more through, my analysis, you'll realize that when you get 2 touches, that's like really nice. When you get 3, that's like gold. So, wait. All right, now we're gonna put another one here. Boom, there's our second touch. Oops, that's fine, whatever. And I gotta turn this tool off. Now we're gonna draw, oops. I'm gonna take this one, drag it down. Come on. Really, bro? Bruh. Oh, there we go. Boom. So now it's at 3. I'm gonna take these arrows off so it's not confusing, but I was just showing you with the arrows where it retested and made lower highs. So in this case, there's a lower high here, lower high here, lower high here. So now we're starting to make our way down, okay? Now this could very well go all the way up here and hit this. So I don't want to jump the gun too early. Right when market opens, I'm just gonna anticipate and go, oh, I'm gonna sell right now. Look at all this space, guys. Let's say, and I have this tab here where I'm taking a short position. Let's say I get in right here and I go all the way up here. Remember now, I'm looking at a 4-hour time frame. This is 289 points. Meaning, if I took one contract, just one, that would be a $2,895 loss. If it gets all the way up here, hits above this trend line, this descending trend line or downward trend line, and knocks me out. And then let's say I'm going to make it hit that weekly level, which right here again, look left, support, 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 support. So that's solid. This is a level that is well respected. So it's like, okay, it could come back down here. This is 289 would be my loss, or $2,890. My target is 269 points. Is that a good risk reward ratio? No. That is a 0.93, so not quite 1-to-1. If you want to take 1-to-1 trades, that's totally up to you. That's up to your discretion. I'm not telling you what you can and can't do, but check this out. Instead, we wait for this thing to come up and possibly test this area right here, which is where it needs to be filled, in my opinion. See where I just drew that blue mark? This thing comes up to here, and then it starts to turn over and fail. So I'm going to just do like a little drawing tool so you can see real quick with that red marker so you can kind of follow along. So let's say it comes all the way up here, and then it starts to build candles where it's going up and down, up and down, up and down, and it hits this level. Well, guess what? Now my risk to reward ratio is at 2.48. which is solid, meaning I'm going to almost make 2.5 times more than I would my risk. This, guys, if I say nothing else, is the name of the game. This is also why it takes so long for some traders to become profitable and others to get the, if they get it quickly, if they understand probabilities. That's why they say that I don't know how. It's not like I've done my own, tests, if you will, but they say that, professional, not just gamblers, but professional, card players and things like that who do know how to play, whether that be poker or blackjack, whatever the case may be, they understand probabilities. They think in probabilities. So they're actually okay with taking a loss. They know when they can size up a little bit more, when their risk is very, very minimal, like all the way up here where it's like, let's say I'm risking 10 points to make 532 points. Obviously, this is just an example. I'm not saying that's what you're going to get on this particular trade. I'm just saying in general that those are the ones that you can swing a little bit heavier because you know that, all right, if I get stopped out, here's what I'm willing to lose on each trade. That is the big thing, guys. You have to define what you're going to lose on every particular trade before you get in, because once you place the trade, all the logic in your brain goes out the window because now emotion takes over. And that is what, as a trader, we fight on a day-to-day basis, not allowing our emotions or that get-back mentality of, I lost money, I need to make it back right now. That's how you compound your losses. So you have to figure out and make playbooks like this, and how much am I willing to lose in a day when I turn it off and just shut it off, get up, go to the gym, go to work, do whatever I do, forget about it, don't look at the charts anymore until the next day when I have a fresh, clear mind and I got fresh eyes to look at the market. It's very, very difficult. Trust me, this is not an easy process, but this is literally what keeps you in the game. Just think about coming up to the bat and you're only waiting on the fastball. You could get a slider, you could get a curveball, you could get a changeup. You could get all sorts of, and let's just say in your mind you think, well, I've practiced those before and I can swing at those and I know that I can hit a good amount of those. You're setting yourself up for failure when you're talking about trading because you need to master and do enough back testing and sample sizing that that 60% of the time or 50% of the time even, which is plenty of success in order for you to have success in the market and be profitable, more importantly, which is what we're all after in the market, that 50% of the time, I know that if I swing on this fastball, and in this case, let's call it a support and resistance play. So let's say I wait for it to come back up here. Now I'm going to draw 2 boxes for you so this makes this a little bit clearer. I want you to pretend like we're playing tennis. All right, so you saw all these lines right here, lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, right? This right here, as you can tell, these are almost on the same level. This is almost like a high. It's really not a lower high. They're pretty much even. I'm going to draw a box that goes from right here. See that? It comes all the way across like that. And I'm going to draw another box. I'm just going to Control C this and drag this down. Check this out. Down to the support level. Boom. Where I drew this other figure right here. Now, if we're playing tennis, am I even able? My character, if you will, is right here. Your character is right here. How is it possible that you're going to swing at the ball? Let's just call this the net, the middle. This, guys, the middle. Let me get a highlighter here. The middle, all up in here. This is how you get chopped up, meaning that's how you lose money. I'm not saying you can't make money on a quick push up here like this before it retests this potentially and then you get out. I'm not saying you can't do that. However, it is very risk on, if you will, to do something like that instead of waiting on a higher probability play where it pushes up to here, all the way up here around this tennis area. Look, your guy, your character is ready to knock it back down so you guys can play tennis. This is a higher probability. If it passes your guy, what is this considered in the sport of tennis? Out of bounds. Out of bounds. Should I trade this? No. However, there's another part of your playbook where this is called a break and retest. It hits this. It was once a resistance, which is essentially like your area where you're serving the ball back to the other guy, me in this instance. it goes above it, and then it retests this. Now it's newfound support, meaning it's like the floor. And then it starts to build on that. I can buy in this area. Guess where my stick figure guy goes? Now he goes right here. And then let's just say that your face, in this smiley face in this particular instance, is your last line of defense. Anything that goes past your face, you get out of the trade. Well, how much loss is this really? Well, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's find out. From right here to right here, guys, that's 100 points. Again, I'm on the 4 hour now. That's a good amount of loss. However, if I'm on a one contract situation, that might be $1,000. If I am okay, before I get into the market, okay with losing $1,000 to make $2,000. In that other situation I gave you, what did I tell you that we were going to make if I let it come up here and retest? 2.5 times my potential loss. In this case, let's say I'm still going for a 2.5 to 1. Well, if I'm going to lose $1,000, or where my smiley face guy is, then I should be making what? I should be making $2,500 at minimum. So it's kind of where you have to just let it go and let it go hit your take profit at 2.5. Now it needs to make sense. You can't just, go here. I'm going to take a long position, meaning I'm going to buy. I'm going to put the stop loss right below at the smiley face, and I'm just going to draw an arbitrary 2.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. That's not going to work. Why? Because if there's no price up here to show you that it stopped here before, then why would that work? That's not good trading. That's not quality setups. However, if I am taking, let's say, a sell right here, look where my smiley face is, right here. I'm not going to let it get above that right there. Now I'm playing tennis down. And now there's new levels down up in here. Now look at this. Look at this right up in here. I'm going to highlight this right here. Look at this right here. Is that where, what we call liquidity? Is that where price has gone previously? Look at all this. Look at all this right here. Look at all this. To the left. It's gone down up in here. Is there a lot of, this is like, consider this a nice easy flow. I want you to think about a highway. That's nice and smooth, isn't it? This right here, is this smooth right here? Is that smooth? No, that's a roadblock. That's traffic. Traffic, right? Traffic. It's small areas. This is still, even though you see maybe you could consider this a little bit of traffic, this is still pretty smooth for the most part. Look at this nice V angle right here that has come up into the market. I'm not trying to define what you call these or V angle. I don't even call it a V angle. I'm just explaining to you in as dummy terms, essentially as I can. Not because we, need to talk to you that way, but it just makes it easier. It makes it clear for you to understand what's going on. If I'm going to target, now let's go back to this particular instance, this liquidity area right up in here, and I take this, down to here. Let me do the ray. I don't want to do the horizontal line. And I want to take it to here. Well, look what that is. That is a 1 to 4, guys. Meaning I will win 4 times more my reward than I will my risk. Let's just call that, it says 118, but let's just call that 100, which means on a one contract, and it's at $10 a point, that is $1,000. Let's just say, for argument's sake, it's 100 points. I'm going to try to set it at 100 for you. Boom, it says 99, whatever. Guess what? Now this has gone up to what? A 5 risk to reward ratio, meaning I'm going to win 5 times. Let's do the math. If 1,000 is what I'm risking, and I'm going to make 5 times, what is that? $5,000. So guess what this does? This isn't about just going, oh, well, let me just make it 10 because that makes more sense and I want to win 10 times what I'm risking. That's not the point. The point is that this makes sense because price has gone down here before. And it flowed, and I use this as an example right here, it flowed here very nicely before. So why will it not do this right here? Boom, retest, come back down to this area. Is that possible? Of course it is. So this is a good setup. But when I take a loss, no strategy, no playbook is 100% probability. You're not going to win every single trade. That is also, at the detriment of a lot of us traders. You're thinking that, well, I'm in the market and I don't want to lose any money. That's obviously the objective. So I must suck if I am losing money. No, if you win 50-60% of the time and you only trade in the tennis racket area, where you're playing tennis between these two zones, that is a solid strategy. Versus trading all this. Oh, I'm going to buy. Oh, shoot, I got stopped out. Oh, I'm going to buy. Oh, shoot, it dumped. Oh, I'm going to buy. Now you're just losing money. You're just, it's like you're cut 1,000 times. Like, just being slashed. And you're messing up your psychology because you are not sure what you're doing. You're kind of just discretionary trading. You're just like, well, it feels right to me, so I'm going to just go ahead and get in the trade. That's not a smart way to trade, guys. So what I'm getting at is this. Again, I'm going to go back to the scenario. This is the tennis racket, or tennis game, if you will. Let's take this out. I'm going to wait. So now that I've given this example, here's you, here's me. How are we going to play tennis? We're going to play tennis by letting this thing come all the way up here, and then you're going to hit it back to me. You're not going to let anything go by your head. Okay? I'm just using your head as an example. Really, it should be right here where this gray box is. That's where you shouldn't let it go past that. But let's just say you go, well, there's a wick here, meaning there's a zone right here to the left that it has gone here once before, and I want to give it breathing room. So you put it right above your head in this case, because you're like, okay, if it goes above that, then it must be going, higher and higher, and I don't want that. So let's say you put your stop loss right here, SL, stop loss, meaning it's a computerized thing that will shut your trade off at this particular amount of loss. You need to measure that out, and more importantly, you need to be accepting of it. You don't have to go in there one contract. You could go half a contract. Well, I'm not comfortable, Julian, losing $1,000. Okay, well then risk $500. So what am I going to take? Half a contract, 0.5. That's going to now be a $500 risk. Let's say I'm going to make 2.5 or 3 times my risk. That's going to pay me out 1.5K if I hit my take profit. So I wait for it to get all the way up here. My stop loss is set up here. I knock it back down, it goes my way, oh, it gets close, it ends up coming back down, tries to fake out, but you don't worry, you don't stress. And it does this, and it comes all the way, and as long as it never passes your head, you should stay in that trade. Why? Because you've already accepted the risk of $500 or $1,000. You should put or, okay? $500 or $1,000. You've already accepted that. You said that when I placed a trade, I essentially just left it alone. You could even walk away from the screen if that helps you. And then just go, if it hits it, it hits it. If it doesn't, if it goes my way, then what's it going to go down to? Listen, guys, here's what gets very difficult. It may get down here, and you may get this close, and then it turns around and goes all the way back up, and then hits your stop loss. And you're sitting here going, beating your head up and going, I should have just taken it here at $850. Why did I not take this? Or I guess in this case, yeah, $850, $900, $2,000, whatever. So in this case, if it was, let's say 3-to-1, it was just shy of 3K. It was like 2,200. It was almost at my zone here where I was going to hit the ball back to you, but it didn't come all the way back down here. You cannot beat yourself up about this right here, because there is enough opportunity in the market that you are going to be able to make great trades on this system right here, playing tennis between these two zones. That is what's called supply and demand trading. There is demand and there is supply down here. The demand, right, gets too high. Okay, now it needs to start moving back down to supply. Supply gets, plentiful. Now the demand goes up for it. So this is the name of the game right here. This is one piece of strategy, if you will. Okay, now I'm going to take all these things off. That, guys, to be honest, that is a section in and of itself on a course. And I've just explained that to you. And honestly, if you did just that and one or two other things, you could be a profitable trader. So that is just the way that it goes. It's much more difficult than that because you're mastering your psychology and you see the markets moving at freaking just hyper speed and it's just flowing and you're like, I'm missing opportunity. You're convincing yourself you're missing out on stuff that you don't really see. And your brain is a supercomputer that tells yourself, oh, here's a good opportunity right here. I should just get in it. and you almost perceive the market differently than you should. You're like, oh, okay, it's a good time to buy. No, it's not. You know it's not yet. Wait till it gets up here, or if it breaks above, then we go into our next strategy in our playbook if we're going to do a break and retest. Don't buy this while it's pushing out. Wait for it to come back down, test, and then come back up. You need to make sure that this is going to be creating a new floor before it fakes people out and dumps all the way back down, and it plays the exact same play as we thought a second ago, and it doesn't ever go above your smiley face, your guy, and it jumps right back down and hits your take profit. If you walked away from the market in that particular instance, you would have never known that it did all this, came all the way back up, didn't quite get, just got right on the top of the hair of the smiley face man and came all the way back down. You would have never known that. But guess what? When you sit in front of the computer and watch this happen, you start freaking out when you see this. And you're like, oh my God, get out, get out, get out. And you're in profit right here, $2,800, and it's almost hitting your 3K take profit. And then you see $2,200, $2,000, $1,000, $200, $100, $50, negative $50, negative $75, negative $100, negative $200, and it turns all the way back down and comes here. This, guys, is the hardest thing to do in trading. That is literally why it takes so long to become profitable in trading. Because sitting in that and doing the reps enough times to be like, I'm going to trust my process is the hardest thing to do in the game. That is the hardest thing to do. Now, everybody, other traders who see this are going to have other opinions, and say, well, no, that isn't the hardest thing. I'm telling you right now, that is the hardest thing to trust your trade. That is the hardest thing. And I think that's why everybody thinks that watching a bunch of psychology videos, they will help. Trust me, I do them all the time, and I almost watch psychology videos almost every night. However, I do that just to lock in a little bit more, but that's not because I feel like I'm missing something. I have to trust my trades. I obviously have done this more than once where I've gotten to a PA and I've blown a PA, which is meaning just a personal account or, a funded account at this point. I've gone, though, from, let me just show you here, $300,000, $300K to 320, as I told you guys in the other video. So I've made $20,000 on that account without going underneath a 7.5K breach, meaning I can't go down to 292.5. If I do, the account's done. I have to redo it, I have to restart, I have to pay for another account, and the show just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. The point is, guys, is that to make $320,000, $20,000 profit is obviously takes talent. You have to be able to know what you're doing. However, you still have to go and use your playbook and what you know is right in the market overall. If you don't, then you're going to just continue to trade discretionary, and you're going to have big wins, but you're also going to have even worse losses. And then you're going to feel like you're an idiot and that you're a failure and that you suck at trading and that you'll never become profitable. Because trust me, I've gone through all these thoughts as well. So that is normal. Here we are. Now I'm going to break down the 1 hour. Now check this out. Those zones I drew were for 4 hour. Was it not, or was it? Yes, it was. Look at this right here. Now I can do the exact same thing. I can clone this right here. Check this out. And here's a support. And here, ooh, shoot. I don't know what I just did. Let's go back. And here's another support. And here, oh my goodness, what is going on, bro? Go back. Really, dude? And here's another support. And here's another support. And here's another support. The point is this level, this 18,037 to be exact-ish in this range, is been respected. All this tells me is that buyers, or me, my smiley face guy, I'm gonna pretend like my smiley face man, my smiley face guy has come into the market every single time at these levels. Shoot. Every single time. Meaning, when I got to this level, I said, I have enough strength to buy and push this market back up. These guys are what's called institutional or bank traders. When institutions and banks move the market, this is when you see these big ass candles like this. This is the only people that move markets like this. It ain't you and I. I got news for you. As much as you want to be this guy, guess what? I'd love to be this guy one day, but this shit right here, that shit right there, that is a bank. This shit right here, this push back up, that is a bank. But retail traders like us are like surfers, okay, in the ocean. Let's see if I can find a surfer. Not that it's really that relevant, but it could be good for this analogy. Where is my surfer man? I know there's, oh, beautiful. Look at this. Look at this guy. Let's get it. You and I are this guy. And when the market starts to get pushed up like this in a vicious area, guess what you do? And you see the volume starts to pick up, you get in this and you ride this wave. And guess what? As a wave in the ocean starts to build, what do? You start to paddle. You start to paddle your ass off. And you go, you start to stand on your board, and guess what? Just like this wave behind this figure right here, this is you on the market. And you start to see money come into your pocket because those who were once sellers thought that it was going to continue to keep going down. When banks or me, these smiley faces decided, not actually me, but banks or institutions decided we need to turn this price around for whatever reason. It doesn't even matter why they did what they did. But this market pushes back up here. Guess what happens? You need to be able to execute on this particular play, get in this, and as you start to see it fail or start to see it reject and come back down, you get yourself out of the market right here. Now that's easier said than done. You don't even know when it's going to stop. You're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to bring it all the way up here because you're playing tennis. Remember, let's go back to that analogy. However, you have to have more than one take profit, meaning maybe my initial take profit, let's put a long position here for a second. Let's say your long position, this right here, guys, could be a take profit. And then let's put this right underneath my smiley face. That's a 3.54 to 1 risk to reward ratio. Let's say, so I'm going to just put a blue line so you can reference this. 1. Let's put another one here because look, support, 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 support. There's another level here, a little bit of resistance here. Boom. 2. Oh, well, look at this. If this is take profit 1, oh shoot, let me get the marker back out. If this is take profit 1, I could have made X amount of dollars. This is take profit 2, I could have made X amount of dollars. Well, let's find out exactly how many dollars we could have made in this particular take profit. This right here, guys, is a 227.5 take profit, or $2,227.50 if it's a one contract or $10 per point situation. Now, when I get up here, what would be the wise thing to do if I'm going to take that profit, or I'm going to let this run as high as this can potentially go, because this is 330 points, which is $3,330 or $3,330. What's smart to do is I've let this winner run this far. My stop loss was where? 64 points, excuse me. What would be the wise thing to do? Come all the way up here and go, you know what? This is my first take profit, so I'm no longer going to lose or be a loser in the market. What does that mean? That means that if it hits, you see this red box, it's going to disappear. Watch this. Boom. I don't have a stop loss per se or risk on the trade anymore. You do have a stop loss, excuse me, but you don't have risk per se. Why? Because you've already won the 270 whatever point play on this move. Now, if I become a loser and it comes down and hits this area, which it did, you see this little wick right here, it would have punched me. All right, so like I was saying, so essentially this is a riskless trade or risk-free trade. So you're sitting here, we were looking at the 1 hour. This is take profit number 1, this is take profit number 2, and now we're going to take it up to that 330 point play. We had the 270 play already. It went down and it did tap. You see this little, I'll bring the circle here. You see this little marker right here, it did tap that, so it would have punched us out at 270. But had it not done that and just avoided just below it, just above it, we would have went and took the 330 play, which would have been a risk of, I want to say our risk was 100 points or $1,000, and our take profit was 330 points or $3,330. So guys, that is the name of the game. I don't want to put you to sleep too much with the different strategies and things like that. I hope this helps for those who are interested in trading. For my kids, obviously, this is what you need to be, taking notes on, need to be learning, need to be focused on, because supply and demand will always pay you, will always make you money. You can wait for those setups, and I have still not even established this kind of discipline, but realistically, you can take these trades a couple times a month, and they're obviously higher probability than most, and they will, set you up for great success instead of, again, playing in the middle zone here. So be that surfer, so to speak, ride this wave, be the, smiley face guy, play tennis, hit this thing right back up. Make sure you're looking at what we call price action, looking left, where the market has stalled out before or used as previous support or resistance, where the market could potentially stop again and take profits there. And as long as the risk to reward makes sense, then you can go ahead and place that trade. And when you have positive risk to reward ratio, that keeps you in the game longer. When you're looking at 3-to-1 risk to reward ratios, 2-to-1 risk to reward ratios, 5-to-1 risk to reward ratios, those are essentially giving you 5 trades to lose, or you're giving yourself 5 winning trades of cushion, right? So 4 essentially net profit in order to take care of that one loss that you take. So let's just say you're a 50% trader, but your risk to reward ratio is a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 or 5-to-1. If you're swinging for those kind of nice size risk to reward ratios, one trade is going to cover 3 losses, 4 losses, 5 losses, depending on what your risk to reward ratio is. So guys, I just wanted to go over that. We're obviously looking at the charts to kind of give you an overall view of what I'm looking at. I mean, I've kind of drawn it out, and I wanted to obviously give you my zones. I'm looking at exactly what we've just talked about. It's over. I use the Fibonacci as well, where I pull this out to see the retracement percentage-wise that is pulled back. We're playing tennis here. I did obviously not get in this move down here, but I did ride this up on Friday and got out before that thing started to pull back. I'm looking for continuation to the upside. Again, what was the daily, weekly, monthly? Daily, weekly, monthly was bullish. So I'm looking for buys potentially to push this thing all the way back up to the top, where we're going to play tennis with this guy up here. Again, a tennis analogy, guys, is just to try to give you a good, everyday life situation into a scenario that helps you figure it out. But because I'm playing in the middle of this, I have to be very careful. Even though I am going to the overall trend or going with the overall trend, it still needs to be more of a scalp-like situation where I may take it right here in this area. I may take it right here before it hits this trend line or anywhere in this relative area. If this has gone lower, 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 I probably am looking for it to be taken right here where the support is, right here in this area, which would be right about where it should retest before it wants to fail and come back down, or push through, get back up to the top, potentially break, retest, and that's a whole nother piece in the playbook right there. I know it looks like a bunch of jumbles, scribbles, but I want you guys to understand it as we go, and as Monday is upon us, we will obviously dive in deeper. I'll get a better stand for you guys so it looks clear, get a green screen, whatever, just so I can put, my own face on the screen as you guys get to see the screen really, really closely, because I want to make sure it's as clear as possible. But more importantly, guys, I want you to be, watching me as I trade, looking at the setups that I'm jumping into, so you can learn along the way as well. I hope this helps you guys. Let me grab this. Let me unzoom this. Jeez, there we go. Boom. Let me put you here if this wants to cooperate. There we go. I hope this helps you guys. I just wanted to go over some of the, kind of small intricacies. I know I say small, and I feel like I just went on and rambled, but guys, again, I'm obviously passionate about this. This is what I love doing. Monday through Friday, this is what I am doing. There's not a setup every single day, but I do my best to obviously make money every single day or almost every single day, but keeping my risk obviously tight and making sure I can keep myself in the game. So let's see where we take this. Let's get these payouts together, and I will see you guys tomorrow on the next vlog. Peace.